Now let's switch gears to something else that caught my attention recently. So have you heard of this new show called Ramy? Ramy? Is it Ramy or Ramy? Ramy. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but there's been a lot of news in different liberal outlets about this new show about a Muslim millennial who is going through growing pains and realizing how difficult life is as a Muslim within Western society, American society. And so you have drugs, you have girlfriends, you have all kinds of typical millennial, what we're told typical millennial behavior. And it's a Muslim as the main character named Ramy. And he's going to be our protagonist who goes through these conflicts and the drama of being a millennial in the modern world and also trying to stick to and hold on to your religion. Okay, so this is a new show that has recently been released. And so it's drawn some mixed reactions. Here's one reaction that I want to share with you. This is from Facebook by a brother who made a public post where he reviews Ramy. Okay, this is Al-Humam Al-Samarai. And he says 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10 stars. Absolute garbage. They normalize zina like it's not even funny. Yeah, I get it. It's hard to be a single Muslim. But the protagonist literally skipped Taraweeh to sleep with a married woman. What the heck is that? They normalize porn and drugs, and the nudity is off the charts. Like seriously, even American shows don't have that much nudity. It was disgusting. Ramy needs his butt whooped. Nudity and unlawful sexual interactions don't magically become okay because you're an actor. And then this is some kind of amiyah that I don't recognize. Yeah, adabziz, yeah, tarbiyaziz. Does anyone know what that is referring to? I think it means like someone without tarbiyah or adab. So then he says, if you're considering watching this BS show, here's my advice. Don't. You're literally better off watching Game of Thrones than this, Zift show. My expectations were so high for this. Y'all could have done so much good with this, but no. Y'all want to be like kuffar so bad. Pathetic hayawanat, animals. You don't realize all the damage this stupid show will do to the Muslim community. Every single one of you godless heathens will be held responsible for all of the Muslim youth you misguide through this disgusting show. And for what? What did you gain from this? Ya ulad as-sittin donkey. Oh, children of 16 donkeys. 60 donkeys. I expected so much from Ramy. I really didn't think he was such a fasiq and fajr. Itfu alaykum jami'an. So this is what this one reviewer says. A very strong reaction, but I mean, this is very serious. This is a very serious issue that a show like this is being widely promoted. And why is it being promoted? What is the positive message that is being given in this show that Muslims should support? Honestly, there is no positive message. Okay? It's showing that Muslims are just as filthy, Muslims are just as disgusting and depraved and hedonistic and ungodly as everyone else in society. Okay? So this is not a good message. This is not something that is going to benefit the community. It's not going to benefit non-Muslims. Okay? Why would it benefit non-Muslims? To see that Muslims are just like everyone else. They're not going to see Islam as guidance. They're not going to see Islam as something unique that is offering them the truth and moral rectitude. So it's not benefiting non-Muslims, and it's not benefiting Muslims. Because Muslims are going to feel like, oh wow, so this is normal behavior. Everyone else is doing it. Why shouldn't I? This is popular behavior. If everyone is doing it, then I'm going to feel less of a hesitation to engage in these kinds of behaviors. I'm going to have less hesitation to have sex with this random Muslim girl that I met, in Islamic school. Because look, there are these TV shows that are broadcasting it, that Muslims are doing this, so I don't want to be different. And why should, this is what I want to do anyway. I want to fit in. I want to be a part of the wider culture. My non-Muslim friends and classmates are engaged in this behavior. I've been holding myself back because I thought that Islam is different, and being a Muslim means I have to be committed to avoiding these behaviors and to avoiding these kinds of sins. That's what I thought. That's what my parents have been telling me. That's what the imam at the masjid has been telling me. But then there's this TV show that is being promoted by Muslims and non-Muslims alike, that is saying that, Muslims engage in this behavior, and you can have some internal conflict about it, but at the end of the day, look, this is life. This is what being a Muslim millennial means. So there's no problem. So this is the issue with a show like this, and really it is garbage, and it's going to have, if things proceed in the way that it seems like with different outlets promoting it, it's going to have a negative effect on the youth, and we pray that Allah protects our youth from this, protects us from this kind of filth, right? There's a difference, right? So I'm not trying to promote, so Game of Thrones here is what this brother mentioned, and I think this is an important point that he makes. This is an important point that he makes. He says, you're literally better off watching Game of Thrones. Okay, I haven't watched Game of Thrones. Okay? I don't know what it's about, but I know that it has a lot of nudity and has a lot of inappropriate material. Okay, but he's saying you're literally better off watching it. I don't think he's promoting Game of Thrones. But I think there's an interesting idea here, that Game of Thrones doesn't involve Muslims. Right? Game of Thrones has no Muslims on it, from what I understand. I don't think, if there were Muslims on it, I'm sure social media, you'd see Muslims praising it even more than some Muslims already do. But the difference is that Game of Thrones or another type of show like that doesn't involve Muslims, even the Muslim who makes the mistake of watching it, still will have that kind of distinction and barrier in mind, that, okay, these are what non-Muslims are doing. Muslims are different. Muslims don't engage in this kind of behavior, right? And if they do, they don't advertise it. They don't do it openly. They don't make a TV show about it, right? They don't display it for everyone to see. There's a reason why Allah says that He will forgive sins except when the sin is broadcast, right? When you openly say that, I committed this sin last night. Okay, you did the sin last night, and Allah covered you and shielded you so that others were not aware of your sin. But then you yourself, in the morning, in the daytime, go and tell everyone, I committed this sin. Okay, so you didn't appreciate the ni'mah of Allah, the benefit that Allah gave you of hiding it for you and shielding it for you so that others weren't aware of your sin. But then you throw that away, that ni'mah away, and then you do that yourself. You broadcast it, you talk about it openly, and sometimes even boast about it. Okay, so this is something that there's a wisdom why. There are many wisdoms why this is not acceptable and why this is so discouraged in Islam. Because once you start talking about it, then it becomes normalized, it becomes acceptable. People hear about it. And when they hear about it, they start thinking about it. They start imagining it. And that's the first step, right? Or they start desiring it themselves. And then once that desire enters the heart, that's just the first step. Once you desire that first spark, then there are thoughts, then there are intentions, and then there are actions, and then there are actual sins, right? So cut it off at the root. Don't broadcast. Don't talk about the sins that you commit. Make tawbah. Okay? At the very least, keep it private. And this is how you preserve the moral character of society. So you're literally better off watching something else that doesn't involve Muslims. But then, unfortunately, we have Muslims who are going to praise this show, have already started praising this show. Okay, Ramy. And saying this is amazing, and finally we have Muslim protagonists on mainstream TV or whatever. Oh, this is going to help so much with public relations, and now Muslims are finally going to be relatable. Why do we want to be relatable? I'm perfectly relatable, and I don't have to promote or be a part of this garbage. I'm perfectly relatable with my people, non-Muslims around me, with my neighbors. Perfectly relatable. I talk to my neighbors all the time. They don't need to think that I am, doing drugs and watching porn and having sex with strangers to relate to me. Why don't we try to relate to people by talking about shared values? Why don't we talk to people on the basis of aspirations? What do we aspire to? What do we care about? Everyone cares about the truth. Everyone cares about the truth. Everyone cares about knowing where they came from, where they're going, what is the nature of reality. Everyone cares about this. Why don't we relate to people on that basis by talking about these issues? By explaining to them, this is what the truth is. Please, would you like to talk about this? And yeah, I understand that you don't always have an organic opportunity to get into these deep issues right off the bat, but you work towards it. Step by step, you work toward it. You relate to people. You talk. You share with them. Okay? You share with them different things. Food. Okay? You help them if they need help. Okay, you talk to them, you be a human being. Okay, and how is a human being defined? It's not a secular humanist definition of what is a human being. What humanism portrays as being human is not human at all. Okay, what humanism is an alien notion, like a robot deviant. Okay, that's what humanism portrays as what a human being is. Okay. Real humanity, what a real definition of a human being is found and is only found in Islam. So you want to be a humanist, you want to know what being a human being means, you have to ask and you have to refer back to what the creator of human beings has defined as what a human being is, right? So yeah, even this garbage show, it makes us more relatable. No, arguably it doesn't. Even on that basic level, it doesn't accomplish it. Okay, so who is promoting this this nonsense of this show?